Case of Charles Dexter Ward, The Curse of Joseph Curwen. Chapter 1. Awakening in Shadows. I am Joseph Curwen, alchemist, necromancer, and master of forbidden knowledge. My name has been whispered in fear through centuries, spoken only by those who dare tread too close to the edge of human understanding. Though my body was consigned to the grave, my work endured, and through the actions of a fool, I have returned. The echoes of forgotten spells lingered in the air as I stirred from the void. My resurrection was no accident. It was the culmination of centuries of preparation, woven into the bloodline of a foolhardy descendant. Poor Charles Dexter Ward, a puppet unaware of the strings I had left for him to pull. Through his notes, I pieced together the events that led to this moment. He had discovered my journals, my ancient correspondences, and, in his arrogance, thought he could master them. His scrawled words revealed a young mind unraveling the threads of forbidden truths. The incantations are precise, he had written, but the essence, how does one tether the spirit across centuries? How indeed. The boy's ignorance was pitiable, yet effective. His rituals worked, awakening me from the depths of the void. Chapter 2. The Fool's Obsession. Ward's fascination with me bordered on worship, though he would never admit it. His notes chronicled my mastery of alchemy, my command of the dead, and my triumph over death itself. He thought committing my exploits to memory would make him my equal. He detailed tireless visits to my former haunts, the crumbling farmhouses, the whispered ruins where no man lingered. One entry stood out. I have uncovered the final piece of the puzzle. Curwen's resting place lies beneath the old well house. The seals are weak, decayed by time and neglect. Tomorrow, I will descend. What he failed to comprehend was that those seals held more than just my essence. They guarded the horrors I had summoned centuries ago, creatures crafted from the shadows of death itself, bound to serve me and guard my sanctum. Chapter 3. The Doctor's Intrusion. As I resumed my work, it became clear that meddling forces aligned against me. Chief among them was Dr. Marinus Willett, whose suspicions of young Ward had grown into a relentless obsession. Ward's notes recounted Willett's prying questions about alchemy and history, his visits to Ward's home, and his increasingly bold warnings. "Charles," he had said, "do you understand what you are tampering with? You are walking a path that others have died to abandon." Willett's persistence was not born of curiosity alone. He had uncovered the faint threads of my existence, stitched into the dark cracks of Providence's history. His investigation drew him ever closer to the heart of my power. Chapter 4. The Lair Beneath. My sanctum beneath the farmhouse was untouched, save for Willett's meddling. It was a place of unspeakable horrors, where the dead whispered and the air thrummed with unnatural energy. Ward's notes described Willett's descent. The doctor had written of the oppressive darkness, the dripping water, the faint glow of phosphorescent fungi. But it was the creatures that unnerved him most. They were not men, nor beasts. They moved like shadows, their forms indistinct yet palpable. Their eyes glowed with a sickly green light, and their mouths whispered secrets that made my heart falter. Those creatures were my servants, remnants of ancient experiments, a fusion of stolen life and death itself. Their purpose was simple, to protect my sanctum and destroy those who would dare trespass. Chapter 5. The Final Confrontation. Willett's courage bordered on foolishness. He descended into my lair, armed with incantations and charms he could barely comprehend. He thought his defiance could undo what had already been set in motion. Ward's notes described the confrontation in vivid detail. I could hear the clash of forces, the chanting of Willett, the growls of the creatures, and the unholy screams of something vast and ancient. The walls trembled, and the air grew thick with the stench of decay. Willett faced my creatures first, their shadowy forms encircling him, tearing at his mind and spirit. Yet, through sheer determination, he reached the central chamber, where I awaited him. Our battle was not physical. It was a clash of wills, of arcane power. His incantations lashed against mine, tearing at the fragile boundaries of reality. The chamber shuddered as our energies collided, the very air alive with fury and fear. Though Willett fought bravely, It was not strength or cunning that forced me back into the void. It was the unpredictability of the human spirit, a force even I had underestimated. Chapter 6. The Lingering Shadow. Though my physical form was banished, my essence lingers still. These words are but a fragment of my truth, a glimpse into the mind of a man who defied death and danced with forces beyond comprehension. Dr. Willett, that meddlesome fool, carried word of my resurrection back to Miskatonic University. There, he sought the aid of Dr. Armitage, their self-styled guardian against the arcane, together with Dr. Halsey, a man who dares to tamper with the boundaries of life and death. They are gathering a team to seal me away forever. They believe they can extinguish the ember of my power, that they can outmatch an eternity of shadows. But what of you, reader? Do you think this story ends here? Do you think mortals can unravel the bindings of eternity? Even as Armitage and his allies march toward this cursed ground, they fail to comprehend the true scope of my reach. I am not bound by walls, nor flesh, nor time itself. The darkness they seek to banish is the very darkness that breathes within them. I shall use my knowledge of the arcane to bring forth an elder god that will annihilate them and any other threats now and in the future. And when the light falters, when hope collapses under the weight of dread, remember these words: Cthulhu, death may die,